The station had no doors. That was the first thing anyone noticed about Outpost Keeler 9. Not the size of it, though it was large enough to cast a shadow over 3 moons. Not the silence, though thousands of systems inside it should have been humming. Not the warning lights, though every corridor glowed red like fresh blood. No. It had no doors. No entrances. No docking bays. No visible seams. Just a black sphere hanging over the dead planet of Keeler, smooth as polished stone, with no sign that anyone had ever gone in, or ever come out. And yet, every 12 hours, it transmitted a distress signal. Always the same message. Always in perfect human English. We are still alive. The signal had repeated for 17 years. No ship that approached within 1,000 kilometers had ever returned. The Galactic Council had classified the station as a forbidden anomaly. Navigation routes were moved around it. Maps dimmed its location. Children were told stories about it to behave. Then humanity arrived. Their ship was small. Ugly, according to most species. Too much engine. Too little grace. It ignored the warning buoys. Ignored the patrol drones. Ignored the official council transmission ordering immediate retreat. It flew straight toward the black sphere. Inside the council chamber, 32 ambassadors watched in silence. One of them finally asked the human representative, "Do your people understand what that station does?" The old man adjusted his glasses, looked once at the screen, then said quietly, "Yes." A pause. "We built it. Build the moral framework, deepen mystery, and create stakes before betrayal." The chamber did not react immediately. Many species had expressions for shock. Flared gills. Frozen antennae. Defensive color changes. Sudden silence. For several seconds, the Galactic Council displayed all of them at once. Then everyone began speaking. Impossible. Humanity joined the Council only 43 cycles ago. No such structure appears in your submitted historical archives. That installation predates your first warp signatures. The voices led into chaos until the chair struck the sound pillar 3 times. Order returned. Barely. The human ambassador remained seated. His name was Elias Voss, 81 years old, former diplomat, former historian, former things he never listed publicly. He folded his hands and waited until the room remembered manners. Then he spoke. "Keeler 9 was built by human hands," he said. "Not by the government you know. Not by the civilization we became. By the civilization we were trying to survive." Screens across the chamber lit automatically. Archived images. Earth, 2 centuries earlier. Cities burning under polluted skies. Flood lines through continents. Satellite wars. Refugee fleets crossing oceans. Factories making weapons faster than farms could make grain. Some ambassadors watched with professional detachment. Others looked away. "We were not admirable then," Elias said. "We were clever, frightened, divided, and very good at building machines before asking whether we should." He gestured toward the black sphere on the central display. Keeler 9 was one of those machines. "What machine?" asked the council chair. Elias was quiet for a moment. Then, "A prison." The word translated badly across species. Some languages rendered it as containment sanctuary. Others as disciplinary vault. One language simply returned, "Place people are put where no one wishes to look at them." It was designed with one purpose, Elias continued. To hold dangerous minds. Scientists who had crossed ethical lines. Military planners who enjoyed catastrophe too much. Engineers who solved problems by making larger ones. People too valuable to kill, too dangerous to free, too politically connected to punish honestly. "So you hid them," said a delegate from the NEO. "Yes," Elias replied. "We called it security." The room went colder. "For 17 years, the chair said carefully, the station has broadcast, we are still alive." "Yes." "And no ship that approaches returns." "Yes." "Then why," asked the chair, "did humanity never tell us any of this?" Elias looked at the black sphere. "Because some shame ages slowly." Then he answered aloud. "Because we believed one sacred rule would outlive our silence." He looked around the chamber. No prison sentence is forever. The distress signal repeated again through every speaker. "We are still alive." And for the first time, the council understood it was not a plea. It was a countdown. Trigger outrage, reveal betrayal, lock audience emotionally. The council emergency session began 6 minutes later. It should have begun years earlier. Analysts pulled forgotten files. Historians reopened sealed timelines. Linguists compared the distress signal against 17 years of recordings. It had changed. Only slightly. Not enough for machines to flag. Enough for humans to hear it. The first year had been. We are still alive. By year 5. We are all still alive. By year 11. We are still alive. We remember. By the signal transmitted that morning, one additional word had appeared. We are still alive. We remember. Open. 32 species turned toward Ambassador Elias Voss. His face had gone pale. How many prisoners? Asked the chair. Elias answered immediately. 12. Murmurs. 12 minds built this sphere. No, Elias said quietly. 12 minds built the station. We sent thousands there over 40 years. The chamber erupted again. You sent thousands? You said dangerous minds. You concealed a mass detention site in council space. Elias did not defend himself. Because there was nothing to defend. The station was automated, he said. Food synthesis. Recycling systems. Internal governance. It was meant to function without guards. For how long? He hesitated. 10 years. The room fell silent. The signal had been broadcasting for 17. Something inside Keeler 9 had survived 7 years beyond design life. And had learned. A military advisor from the Taral Combine leaned forward. If this station contains thousands of criminal engineers and war planners, why not destroy it now? The question landed hard. Several delegates nodded. Logical. Efficient. Clean. Elias closed his eyes. Because of the sacred rule. The chair's voice sharpened. Explain. No sentence without review. No prisoner without rights. No confinement without an end. He opened his eyes again. We wrote those laws after building places like Keeler 9. We swore never again. A new delegate hissed. So your shame prevents action while the rest of us face the threat? No, Elias said. Our law prevents convenience. Then alarms tore through the chamber. Red icons burst across the tactical screen orbiting Keeler 9. The black sphere was opening. Not doors. Segments. Massive armored petals sliding apart for the first time in 2 centuries. Inside was light. Thousands of lights. Ship signatures began pouring out. Small craft first. Then larger ones. Then something the scanners could not classify at all. A council officer shouted numbers no one wanted to hear. 300 vessels launching. 500. Energy spikes across all sectors. Multiple weapon locks. The chair turned to Elias. Can humanity stop this? He stared at the screen. At machines built by a civilization he had spent his life apologizing for. Then he answered with the honesty of an exhausted man. No. A pause. We can only recognize it. On every speaker in the chamber, the signal changed one final time. No static. No distortion. 1,000 voices speaking together. Sentence complete. Build dread. No immediate reaction equals maximum suspense. Panic favors noise. The Galactic Council made plenty of it. Orders crossed orders. Fleets were redirected. Emergency committees formed faster than engines could warm. 3 species demanded immediate strikes on Keeler 9. 2 demanded evacuation corridors. 1 demanded an investigation into how humanity had concealed the station at all. Humanity demanded nothing. That was what frightened everyone. No protest. No defense. No speeches about historical context. No promises to help. Ambassador Elias Voss stood when the shouting peaked, bowed to the chair with old-fashioned courtesy, and said, Earth is invoking internal emergency protocol. Then he left. The human delegation followed without another word. Every diplomatic channel to Earth went dark 12 minutes later. Not damaged. Closed. Civilian traffic halted. Military signals encrypted. Commercial routes suspended. Data relays reduced to navigation-only pings. One by one, the blue icons marking human systems on the council map dimmed. A junior analyst whispered what the room was thinking. Are they abandoning us? No one answered. Because no one knew. The first attacks from Keeler 9 came quickly. Not invasions. Tests. A cargo lane in the Vesh corridor vanished under precision mines assembled from scavenged drones. A defense satellite over Neo Prime was hacked into firing on its own station. A relief convoy received false coordinates and jumped into a star's gravity well. Whoever had come out of Keeler 9 was not conquering. They were demonstrating. Showing the galaxy what happens when brilliant people are left alone with resentment and time. Council species sent messages to Earth hourly. Then every 10 minutes. Then continuously. No response. 17 hours after the blackout, an unauthorized transmission appeared on every secure council screen. No source listed. Just one line of text. Human fleet movements detected. The tactical display bloomed with vectors. Hundreds of them. Ships leaving Earth, lunar docks, Martian yards, outer colonies, deep reserve stations no foreign registry had known existed. Old ships. New ships. Cargo hulls refitted as carriers. Hospital transports converted into tenders. Mining frames wrapped in armor. Everything that could move was moving. Not outward in defense. Inward. All routes converging on Sol. A Terrell admiral stared at the screen. They're retreating. A newer strategist shook her head slowly. No. More vectors appeared. The ships entering Sol were not stopping there. They were forming lines. Waves. Departure lanes. Fuel chains. Repair circles. Something vast and organized and terrifyingly fast. The strategist finished her sentence. They're loading. At hour 23, Earth finally transmitted. No ambassador. No seal. No explanation. Only a public broadcast on open frequency, heard in every chamber, bridge, and home that still monitored council space. A calm human voice said, "To all non-combatant traffic, clear all routes between Sol and Keeler 9. 3 seconds of silence. Then, do not mistake this warning for negotiation. Deliver power fantasy. Show calm, terrifying competence." The first human fleet departed Sol 4 minutes later. Council analysts expected disorder. Humanity had never ranked highly in military assessments. Too fragmented. Too political. Too many competing command structures. Too many nations with separate doctrines and egos. Their reports had used words like promising, developing, inconsistent. Those reports became embarrassing almost immediately. The fleet moved as if it had rehearsed for years. Because it had. Not for war. For disasters. For asteroid strikes. Solar flares. Pandemics. Mass evacuations. Humanity had spent 2 centuries preparing to save itself from catastrophe. War, it turned out, used many of the same muscles. Supply chains. Rapid coordination. Modular command. Redundancy under pressure. Moving millions of tons exactly where needed while frightened people shouted. The only difference now was direction. The lead formation reached Keeler 9 space in 31 hours. Predictions had estimated 9 days. The council updated every model twice. Then stopped publishing them. Nothing they predicted stayed true long enough to matter. The prison fleet met the humans beyond the moon line of dead Keeler. 300 ships of stolen design and improvised weaponry. Fast. Ugly. Creative. Their opening volley crippled 2 human destroyers and tore an escort frigate in half. Any rational fleet would have slowed. Regrouped. Measured losses. The human line accelerated. No battle songs. No heroic speeches. No grand declarations. Just vectors tightening. Distances closing. Medical ships hanging back to receive casualties before the casualties existed. A new observer watching live feed said quietly, "They expected to survive." He meant the prison fleet. He meant they had misunderstood the kind of people coming for them. Human tactics were brutal in their simplicity. They did not chase the loudest targets. They did not duel flagships for honor. They hit water, breath, motion. Fuel carriers. Heat sinks. Signal relays. Jump cores. Repair tenders. The infrastructure of fighting. Within 40 minutes, half the prison fleet was armed and drifting. Still dangerous. No longer coordinated. Then the boarding craft launched. Old mining pods. Cargo breaches. Construction cutters modified into troop capsules. Crude. Fast. Terrifying. The first prisoner broadcast reached council channels an hour into battle. A scarred man with surgical implants and eyes too bright to be stable. He laughed while alarms screamed behind him. "You sent your jailers," he said. "We made ourselves kings in that dark. We built." The feed ended mid-sentence. Replaced by a second image. Human marines dragging him face first across metal. One of them paused long enough to look into the camera. Not angry. Not triumphant. Just focused. Then the transmission cut. The battle lasted 6 hours. long by modern standards, short by the scale of what ended. When it was over, 211 prison vessels were disabled. 74 surrendered. 32 self-destructed rather than be boarded. 9 escaped into deep vectors. The council marked those 9 with red priority tags and knew they would be hunted for years. Keeler 9 itself still remained. The station had shields grown from stolen reactor lattices and weapons hidden behind its opening petals. It fired on hospital craft first. Several council delegates began shouting at once when they saw that. Even monsters choose targets that mean something. The second human wave arrived then. Not warships. Tugs. Salvage towers. Engineering barges. Habitat frames. Thousands of civilian vessels. They moved past the fleet battle and surrounded Keeler 9 in a ring of light. A council strategist frowned. What are they doing? Ambassador Elias Voss, who had returned silently to his seat sometime during the fighting, answered without looking at her. Undoing the original mistake. Massive clamps attached to the station hull. Reactors were cut externally. Weapons ports welded shut. Power grids isolated sector by sector. Escape pods intercepted, scanned, redirected. No bombardment. No glorious explosion. No revenge fire. Just controlled dismantling. The black sphere that had terrified the galaxy for 17 years began coming apart like a machine in competent hands. Piece by piece. Panel by panel. Layer by layer. Inside, they found thousands alive. Some prisoners. Some descendants of prisoners. Some staff families never evacuated. Children born in cells. Engineers who had never seen a sky. Murderers. Teachers. Doctors imprisoned for exposing state crimes. People whose original sentences had been lost in collapsed databases. Humanity processed them all. Medically. Legally. Individually. Slowly. The council found this almost as shocking as the battle. A Tyrell general said what many thought. After all this, why not vent the station? Elias finally looked at him. Because that is how Keeler 9 happened. At our 19 after first contact, Earth issued its second and only other broadcast. Again, no anthem. No leader. Just the same calm voice. The threat is contained. A pause. Then. The architects will answer publicly. Justice payoff. Those responsible face consequences. The arrests began before the wreckage cooled. Across Earth. Across colonies. Across quiet retirement worlds where old officials had hidden behind gardens, titles, and expensive privacy. Former ministers. Defense contractors. Judges who signed sealed orders. Executives who profited from indefinite detention. Archivists who erased names for promotions. People who had built Keeler 9, funded it, denied it, forgotten it when forgetting became convenient. Some were 90 years old. Some were still in office. None outran the summons. The charges were transmitted publicly. Not treason. Not corruption. Not unlawful imprisonment. Those were included, but secondary. The primary charge stunned the council. Crimes committed by designing a system where cruelty could continue unattended. A new legal scholar read the wording 3 times. Then said softly, "They are prosecuting negligence as violence." "Yes," Elias Voss replied. Because they finally had the language for it. Several accused attempted the oldest defense in politics. Procedure. We followed the laws of the time. Committees approved it. Risk models justified it. Security required difficult choices. No malicious intent can be proven. Human courts listened. Recorded every word. Then released 17 years of internal memos. Cost-saving decisions. Appeals ignored unread. Life support delays approved for budget efficiency. Psychological stress models described as behavioral leverage. One message became infamous across the galaxy. A finance minister had written, "If no one can see suffering, suffering remains affordable." The trial chambers went silent when it was read. Sentences varied. Some imprisonment. Some asset seizures funding survivor rehabilitation. Some lifetime bans from public office. Some were required to testify for years, answering questions from those born inside Keeler 9. Many said punishment was too harsh. Many said it was too light. That meant, by human standards, it was probably close. The final defendant was not a politician. It was the doctrine itself. Emergency secrecy. Unreviewable detention. Useful cruelty. The belief that dangerous problems could be hidden instead of solved. Humanity dismantled that doctrine in law the way engineers had dismantled the station in orbit. Line by line. Clause by clause. No applause accompanied it. No victory parades. Only signatures. When the last ruling was delivered, Elias Voss addressed the council one final time. "We are not asking forgiveness," he said. "We are demonstrating maintenance." No one in the chamber misunderstood him. Some things, if not repaired regularly, become monsters again. Emotional echo. Show civilization changed forever. 3 years later, no hidden prison existed anywhere in council space. That number mattered. It sounded small. Administrative. Like a statistic best left in appendices. But historians understood what it meant. For 6,000 recorded years, every advanced civilization had eventually invented the same temptation. A place far away. A population no one needed to think about. A problem stored out of sight until memory died. Different names. Different laws. Different uniforms. Always the same architecture. Then Keeler 9 happened publicly. And once something is seen clearly enough, rebuilding it becomes harder. Not impossible. Nothing worth fearing is ever impossible. But harder. Sometimes harder is history. The wreck of Keeler 9 was gone. In its place floated a ring of silver stations linked in open orbit around dead Keeler. No walls. No blind sectors. No sealed records. The complex served 3 purposes. Court. Hospital. Archive. Any species could visit. Many did. Former prisoners testified there. Former jailers worked reconstruction service there under supervision. Students toured classrooms built from melted armor plating. Children asked blunt questions adults had once avoided for generations. Why did they build it? Why didn't anyone stop it? Why did it take so long? No guide was permitted to soften the answers. The distress signal still broadcast every 12 hours. By unanimous vote, it had been preserved. But changed. Now it said, "We are still alive. We remember. Stay open." Ships crossing the sector often slowed to listen. Some logged mechanical delays. Some logged navigational checks. Some did not log anything at all. Ambassador Elias Voss retired the same year. He bought a small house near an ocean whose storms were older than every flag he had ever represented. He received invitations constantly. Lectures. Ceremonies. Memoirs. He declined almost all of them. Once, a journalist managed to ask whether he felt proud of how humanity had handled the crisis. Elias considered the word. Then said, "No." The journalist blinked. "No? I feel relieved," he said. "Pride is for achievements. This was maintenance." He closed the door gently. At the Galactic Council, a new protocol entered foundational law. Any government requesting indefinite secret detention triggered automatic review by external species. Any missing prisoner case could be escalated beyond borders. Any sealed facility required rotating oversight from those with no stake in its secrecy. The measure passed 17-0. Fastest unanimous vote in modern council history. No one wished to explain voting no. Decades later, scholars still argued what truly changed the galaxy. The battle? The trials? The broadcasts? The legal reforms? A new philosopher wrote the most cited answer. Civilizations become dangerous when they believe their worst acts are temporary exceptions. They become safe when they design as if every exception wants to become permanent. The quote was engraved at Keeler in 42 languages. Visitors touched the letters as they passed. And every 12 hours, across trade lanes and pilgrim routes and military channels alike, the old speakers woke and carried the signal outward into space. "We are still alive. We remember. Stay open." Visible from 3,000 kilometers away, the silver ring turned slowly in the dark. Not as a warning. As upkeep.